Have your attention, please? Okay, so as you know, we have now gone through everything you ever could want to know about Castleman disease, about treatment for Castleman's, about research that's being done for Castleman disease. So in this last part of the day, we're transitioning from what is Castleman disease and what is the CDCN doing to try to cure it, to how can we all fight back against this disease. And so we've got three really great speakers lined up for the next hour and a half or so. It's all focused on how can we fight back. The first speaker is Barclay. Barclay's a good friend of mine. He has been a part of the CDCN for over a year now, and he is the ultimate champion for what we're doing. He's going to talk to you a lot today about why he's involved, why he's fighting back, even though he doesn't have Castleman disease, but he's fighting back for a number of other reasons. He'll go through that with you. After Barclay, Mileva is going to share some of the different programs that the CDCN offers to give you guys tools so that you can be a part of fighting back, so you can be a part of changing the course of history the way that Jason talked about. And then we're going to finish with our special guest, who I think just stepped out, but he'll be coming back in soon. I'll give you a hint that he's a former NFL football player, and you'll get to hear from him soon. But without further ado, Barclay.
Thank you to everyone. Thanks for having me here today. I'm really excited, as you'll see quickly. For me, the CDCN has become quickly one of the passions I have in life. I'm excited to talk to you guys about my experience with the CDCN, as well as hear a little bit about yours. I want to open it up at the end of what I'm saying to discussion and kind of pick your brains together, make some great new ideas. So I'm going to start with a little bit of background on myself. I'm originally from Texas, but I've kind of bounced all over. I've worked in finance since graduating from college, and I've lived all over the country as well as abroad. I came up to Philadelphia to get my MBA here at UPenn, and that's where I got my first exposure to the CDCN. I went back into the finance industry and continue to work with the CDCN, despite the fact I don't stay much time in Philadelphia. I'm kind of remote, but in theory, my home's here, but I'm on the road about 80 to 90% of the time. And so as I mentioned, I've lived in a variety of different places, and outside of work, I've really enjoyed getting involved in the communities in which I live. And before living in Philadelphia, I lived in Mexico City. I was involved in two different charities there. And the charities involved in Mexico City, they were really focused on what I would say are the poorest of the poor. These are people who are living on about $2 a day, didn't really have much. And what I found was with just a few hours of work or a few dollars, I could really make an impact on these people's lives. And it was really inspiring for me and really rewarding. I'm a business guy. I always think about maximizing and most impact. And so for me, it was, these people who have so little, I could be the difference between, at sometimes, their survival. And when I decided to live in Philadelphia after school, I wanted to get involved in the community in some way. And, through school, I knew of Dave and the CDCN, and I decided to grab lunch with him. And quite frankly, I did not think the CDCN was going to be the fit for me. I thought of it much like you would think of the American Heart Association or Susan G. Komen or ALS, some of these larger organizations that are really monolithic, tons of corporate overhead, massive budgets, and I didn't think I was going to be able to make a difference, but quickly after talking to Dave, I was able to realize that the CDCN was really different. It's a small, nimble, entrepreneurial organization. It's something where if I have an idea, I usually let Dave or Mary know, and next thing they know, they say, yeah, go do it. There's no administrative overhead. You can get things done within the CDCN. And so I started to get involved. Initially, it was a little over a year ago. The Quest Gala that you're going to tonight, we had one last year, and I helped do some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Really what I was trying to do there was reach out to sponsors. It was really about an hour or two a week. In the evenings, I would email local Philadelphia businesses, maybe try calling someone, but it was pretty flexible. It was on my own schedule. I kind of did what what I could do, but if I was busy with work one week, I kind of pushed it off. And so now I've become more involved. We had the advisory council, which I believe Dave spoke about, and the advisory council is this group of really generous, intelligent, and powerful executives in the area, which we go to when we're facing difficult strategic questions at the CDCN. And my role is they come up with an idea, I have to try and turn that idea into actions. And so that's kind of what I do here at the CDCN. And through the advisory council, I've really been thinking a lot about our strategy. I think also about what fulfills me so much about the CDCN. The calls at the CDCN are the highlight of my week. They give me so much hope that we're making progress. I really believe we had this disease on the ropes, and we're getting closer and closer every day to finding a cure. It's given me the chance to meet tons of different people. I was even invited to a private speaking function with Vice President Biden. But more important in my eyes than any person that I've met is the chance to make a difference in the lives of thousands of people who are afflicted with this horrible disease. I love helping you. What inspires me and motivates me is you. And so part of this strategy, I've been forced to think about where are we lacking in resources at the CDCN. And ultimately, there's three main resources that drive an organization like this. First is it's going to be money, obviously. Money that goes into these research studies that we need, more money means more research, as you guys have discussed throughout the day. I don't need to go into detail, but there's a lot of great things, but there's still more research that needs to be done. And the great part about the CDCN is that money goes straight into research. I'm a volunteer, Mary's a volunteer. We're not taking dollars. All the money is going straight to research, so it's really effective. The next is man hours. Days like today, the gala, any event that the CDCN does that is not research-oriented is being done by volunteers in their man hours. So often, I'm up and it's 2 in the morning and I'm trying to send another email for the CDCN. I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have an 8:30 meeting tomorrow morning for my full-time job. And I want to do more, there's just not enough hours in the day. The final thing is we need samples. It sounds like today you guys have been phenomenal. We're really excited. But given the fact this is a rare disease, samples are hard to come by. And as we get more and more research projects going, we're going to need more and more samples. So in one of these virtual meetings we were having recently, we get people from kind of all over the country working together, which is really cool about this organization is you don't have to be here. I thought about our 3 big needs: money, man hours, and samples. I looked around the room and I realized, other than David and a couple other people, pretty much every volunteer on the call that was dialing in, they weren't really directly affected by the disease. They were all volunteering their time for the love of patients, but we weren't getting the support itself from the patients. And honestly, I was a little frustrated. It was a little disheartening. I didn't really understand. So ever since that day, my approach to the CDCN has changed a lot. Instead of doing things for patients, I think about how can we be doing things with patients. I've tried to change the paradigm, and I look to you for help. I can try and tell your story, but it's a whole lot more powerful when you tell your story. When you tell your story, it helps us raise funds. It helps raise awareness. I want to see research accelerate, but at the end of the day, I can't give my blood. I can't give my tissue samples. There's only so much I can do. I've seen where the progress we've made recently, and I also see where we're deficient. And I see the trajectory we're on. We're getting close with this disease. Since the formation of CDCN 5 years ago, we've made more progress than the previous 50 years. When you compare us to other organizations, and you look at how fast we're moving with the small dollars we have, and you compare it to organizations like the American Heart Association, we're literally moving at light speed. Now, I'm not a scientist, but I believe if we had 200 patient volunteers fully engaged, regularly giving samples, raising awareness, and converting that awareness into dollars, we will find a cure for this disease by the end of 2018. Honestly, I think we can do it faster. And so I'm not asking for millions of dollars and thousands of people. I'm saying 200 active patients working together. If you look around this room, everybody in this room has something in common. And it's something I don't have. Our goal here is to figure out what you guys have in common. And we gotta have everyone working together. So here I am. I'm working hard, but I'm asking you, are you ready to join this fight? Are you ready to come with me and beat the heck out of this disease? Do you want to join me and do what every doctor in the world dreams of doing? And that's finding a cure for a disease? Do you want to be one of the people that puts a signature on the way medicine is performed? You guys have a really unique opportunity. You have the ability to not only help the fight, you have the ability to be the fight. I want you guys to become the ambassadors. I want you to make it your mission to spread the word, to raise awareness. You guys have more power and a better ability to do that than I can. So I'm gonna open up to discussions. I wanna hear your thoughts on how we can help. I have a lot of different ideas. How we can get involved in our local communities, how we can make things bigger. But I wanna hear from you guys. If you could be more involved, what would it be, what would it take, and what would be easier? Is there anybody who wants to kick it off with ideas, things that they've thought about? I have a lot of questions, a lot of different thoughts, but I wanna just get you guys, I wanna make this an open forum, and really, let's walk out of here today with some action items as to what we're gonna do as a community, as a patient community, to get more people involved.
I'll kick it off. I'm from Sydney, so when I had suffered at Castleman's last year, I pretty much found out I was the only Australian Castleman's patient on the eastern seaboard. So we're talking nearly about 10 to 15 million people. So I had no support, doctors didn't have a clue, with all due respect to them, and nurses. The only contact I had was Dave at the CDCN. So I personally came here to think if there are other Australians who do get Castleman's, that at least, and they find the CDCN, they can reach out straight to me so I can make that call. Because, you know, I love talking to another Aussie, and that's what I really wanted. I didn't have that, but I had Paddy and the great team, which was my lifeline. And I don't want another Australian or another patient to go through the isolation and the solitude and lying in the hospital bed, having absolutely no one to talk to. And no one could really relate because you don't have cancer. You've got something else that people go, well, what the hell's Castleman's? So I want to be one of those patients to stand up and help other patients in the future, particularly even down Australia, New Zealand.
Awesome, I love it. That's amazing, yeah.
I know when I was diagnosed, for example, it was in 2005 and Facebook wasn't nearly as big, and I went in search of, like, when I got diagnosed, there were like I was told I was like one of 200. Thank you. I was told I was like one of 200 people in the entire US that had it. And like I said, Facebook wasn't there then. You Googled it and good luck finding anything there. So I'm kind of similar to his story. So maybe just like, I know social media is a huge thing. So you guys can work through like social media to help find other people that feel like they're by themselves or alone, or, you know, just, I know you guys are doing a great job now, because that's actually how I found out about this in the first place, but maybe just like I said, increasing social media and stuff like that.
Great.
I'm wondering if there's a way to put like a face on the disease, like, I don't know, like how ALS had Lou Gehrig. I mean, it's very unfortunate, but
Do we have anyone famous?
it just seems like if there's I don't know.
Me too.
But yeah, we have Penny and Dave, but, you know what I mean? Like, is there a way to put a face on the disease? Like,
Yeah,
just,
it's definitely a great point, and the interesting part is when you do the numbers, statistically, we should have somebody out there who's famous who has it, but we haven't found that person yet, and we really are looking, and I think that it's going to come to bringing awareness, making people feel it's a more common disease than they think it is today.
I would add that, I mean, I agree, we don't know of anyone famous with Castleman disease. But within each of our communities, like to my family and friends, to your family and friends, like you're that famous person. And so, you know, if it's an event like this, I mean, tonight we're gonna have close to 300 people at this gala, and every single one of them has a one-off connection to someone that I love. And so, you know, I'm not famous, but I've got 300 people that are gonna be there tonight. And every one of us has a friend of a friend that could come together for that kind of an event. So we're not not famous on a large scale, but certainly within our family and friends, I think every single one of us could put together those kind of events that bring that kind of awareness.
Yeah, so I think in another way Dave is saying is that until we find that Lou Gehrig, let's make ourselves the famous people, and maybe it's on a smaller scale, but if we have, you know, 27 people in this room, and in their local communities become the famous person, that starts to scale and starts to become a lot more impactful. Any other thoughts? I had some thoughts on. Oh yeah.
Is there a ribbon, like how breast cancer has pink and?
You have to stand up. Dilemma. It's right here. Keep swearing it. Stand up. She got castle bricks.
Oh,
You jumped the gun.
And this is your job now.
And she brought it up, we had to talk about it. So this is the ribbon that was just decided on, and hopefully sometime next year we'll get in production by the CDCN. But right now everybody can get what it looks like and have it made on your own. So.
Can we put Castleman disease on it, because we realized that on its own, like, people still wouldn't know what that was. So we have the words Castleman disease on it, and it's Castle Bricks.
I was supposed to repeat what I just said. So this is the Warrior ribbon that we just had approved. And so probably sometime in the next year, the CDCN is hoping to mass produce these and be able to push them out. Right now though, you guys can each have a copy of what it looks like through email or whatever and have them made on your own at any, like this was actually made by Elisa's parents. Kim and Nick both had this design through the guy that they've been using to do all their t-shirts and funding. And so they used this and they had this made, and Nick's raising his hand in the back right now, so.
I have one for everybody.
And Nick is planning on giving one of these to every single one of you before you leave today, so you'll have to take one.
You know, it's interesting at what he just did and what this thing is, and you're asking for something to be a face of, oh. I've been in theater so long, I don't even think about it. You're asking for someone to be a face. And I always say when the world's really horrible, if you look into the eyes of a child, everything's all right. So why can't Elise be our face?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all get so much inspiration from Elise. It's just, I know that it's hard for all of us to, and certainly for the Driscolls. It has to be in the right sort of setting, obviously. But I know that all of us think about her all the time.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, Elise is part of that face. It's not that she is or is not. She's definitely one component of it, and stories like that are your stories and everyone's stories are the stories we got to start pushing out into the community and making people aware that the existence of this disease, as well as you know, the good, the bad, the ugly of it, and that's going to be what really makes the difference. Other thoughts?
Could there be like a walk, like how breast cancer has a walk, or AIDS, HIV, all of them?
Could there be some type of walk or race or anything like that for Castleman to make people a lot more aware?
Or a half marathon.
I was just gonna say something about that. I tend to sign my husband and I up, him really not so much on his own, but we are doing a 5K tomorrow, and it's for pancreatic cancer, which was just awareness for me, you know, and I kind of looked at it and read a little bit about it, and so I think that's a great idea because I signed up for it and we're running it tomorrow, just to support that group, so. There are people out there that do them.
Yeah, what about another idea? I think that is a great basis, but what if anybody in the community, if they're ever running, you know, I'm guilty as charged. On Saturday I'm running a half marathon, which is not something that's normally in my wheelhouse. I've never run more than like 3 miles before this. And so, so on Sunday I'm running, and as you said that, what came to mind is, okay, so maybe the half marathon I'm running isn't a Castleman half marathon, but why didn't I not send out an email to all my friends saying, hey, I want to do a fundraiser for Castleman disease? It doesn't have to necessarily be the event. We can use ourselves and create an event within ourselves.
We can provide tools for that. We just signed up for a platform called Mobile Cause that makes it easy to have your own pages for things like this. So if you were to go to do your event, you could send out to your friends, I'm gonna run this 5K, and you know who will donate X amount of dollars for every mile I run. Maybe to say it again.
No, they got it. Shannon wants it though.
Okay, we have Shannon and then Danielle wants to say something. I'm getting my exercise.
I am doing crafting for a fundraiser. My church had one back in September, and I raised almost $500 with my crafts down there. And I am having another fundraiser in my hometown, and I have 19 vendors right now lined up to donate money for a table space. So just find something you're good at and just go for it.
It's awesome. That's awesome. I love it.
An idea just popped up when we were talking about the race. Maybe we should have one day specified to Castleman Disease Day and make it, you know, a national event. So, you know, on the day that's specified for Castleman Day, we can do a walk or, you know, whatever. But I think that would bring a lot of attention and then get our local communities involved in that day.
Okay, great.
We have one more and then I'm gonna kick it back to you so that.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, I actually have a few ideas.
Okay, that's great.
Shirts, actually, not Dave. I was saying maybe have like the warrior symbol in the middle and up top put "We Are" and underneath put "Warriors." And now that we have a ribbon, we could put that you have on your shirts, the ribbon on the back. And then as individuals and just sell them on your own. Another idea, my cousin just recently opened up her own cosmetic line called Tough. And basically it's part of your proceeds goes to some type of organization. So her and I were talking, and if I have a demonstration, she said that week after I have the demonstration, 20% of whatever makeup sells that week would go towards the disease.
So would your cousin be interested, do you think, I mean, I know she's not here, interested in doing that Castleman-wide, and if somebody in Seattle did it and someone in Chicago did it, she would continue to make sure the organization that's donated to is the CDCN, do you think?
I think the way her makeup is that you're, like I would be my own individual consultant,
Yeah.
and then I would be the one selling the makeup.
Okay.
And then I decide, you know, what percentage I want to donate to the disease.
Okay. Great. Cool.
But
Well-
also, sorry, and like different things like tumblers, like the cups, like making something like that and just selling in your community to raise funds.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna do like the 5K walk, even with the ribbon, make that something you can sell maybe for a shirt to put on, or just an idea.
I lied, there's one more and it's an important person, so I can't say it's her.
I'm like the least important person in the room. Our Castleman's guy is really cute. Is there not, I was talking to some other people about, is there not a way to make him a stuffed animal, a pillow, a action figure, a something that becomes, I mean, he fits the demographic for, I don't know, 5 to 9-year-old boys. You could do all kinds of things with that guy.
Yes, so I think we have a lot of great ideas, but before we wrap up, I think that we got into a lot of kind of material things, but we want to remember to think about these 3 pillars. What we're looking for is money, and I think that we're talking a lot about money, but we're also looking for man hours. We're also looking for samples. And what I want here is, I would love if anybody right now or afterwards would feel comfortable. I think that, is it Grant? Is that your name? Yep. We had Grant just step up and say, if there's any other patient in Australia or New Zealand, put them in touch with me. Or is there anyone else in the room who would like to step up for a role like that? I have, we need a webmaster, which was a great point, and we've been thinking about how can we get our social media footprint out there. We would like to do local events. Is there anyone in the room that in their local community would like to become the captain, or within the CDCN would like to do one of these other tasks that we're talking about?
David and I were just discussing that actually.
Okay.
But the Sacramento community has zippity-doo-dah. So I would be more than happy to do whatever I can. I would be more than...
What's your name?
I want you to do your job, right? We acknowledge you. William. Hedge like a bush. Not like the president. Thank you, you got it. But David and I were just speaking about that exact same thing. And so that's what I do for a living. And we're going to find a way to make something happen. So I could definitely do that in Sacramento or the mid-California to at least be a contact.
Great.
My doctors, my new doctors, all want every bit of information from this convention.
And I'll just add that just briefly, we talked about the fact that if you guys are able to put on an event and want to put on an event in your community, we will help you. We have people that can help. We just can't put on an event in another part of the country. We can do things here in Philly, but we can help you. We've got a bunch of amazing volunteers like Mary and Barclay. We'll help you. But if you'll do it in your community, we will give you all the resources you could ever need.
And then the other thing we'd love is people who, even if you're in Sacramento, you are providing the same help that I would provide someone who's putting on an event in Chicago, someone in Sacramento can do. And that may be collaborating with Dave or Mary or I to write the speech for the person. Our goal is to make these events as easy as possible so these people have as little work as possible. So, there's a lot of different ways to get involved. I think you have Dave's contact information. One of the things I wanted to do real quick here, I want everyone to pull out their cell phones. I want you guys to take down my number. Think about what I just said. Think about how you want to get involved. I would love in the next 24 hours, maybe by Sunday night, for everybody in here to have called, texted, or emailed me with their ideas to how they're going to get involved. And figure out what it is that motivates you and gets you excited. You don't have to do it all, just a little bit. And I will try and find a way to make it work for you. I will do whatever I can. So, this for me has been absolutely amazing. I want to thank you guys for being here. Honestly, guys, you guys are heroes. You guys give me a purpose. You give me a passion. I want each one of you to know that you can reach out to me whenever. I I'm happy to find a way to get you involved. Like I said, we can be creative. We can work around your schedule. We can figure out what your strengths are and what motivates you. If you hate planning events, then let's not make you the event planner. There's ways we can get you guys involved. But having patience on our team is going to help motivate all the other volunteers. We need more people like you. We're on this journey together. I'm here and I'm going to fight my tail off for you. I'm looking forward to having you on my team. Mary's here for you. Dave's here for you. I'm here for you. But guys, you got to be here for each other. There's no doubt in my mind that if we're all together, we will find a cure for this stupid disease.